What is going on, guys? So today we have the iPad 8 Gen and the iPad Air 4. So let's see, if you decide to go for the 8 Gen, would you be needing to compromise on any factors? And if yes, then what factors would you need to choose upon? So let's find that out. Do note that I have also made a full review on the iPad Air 4, so do check that out as well. Now without wasting any further time, let's get started.
Hey guys, what's up? So this device on my hand is the Apple 8th generation iPad 2020 September 2020 model. A lot of people ask me like, why do we need an iPad, or what is the, like, for a person who is not much into graphic designing, doesn't go out with his devices often, is not in a marketing profession, why do you need an iPad for? So one of the primary reasons I got an iPad was because I wanted to build a small Apple ecosystem with me. So I have a MacBook, I own an iPhone, I have an Apple Watch, I have an iPod. So I had pretty much, like, of course, not the MacBook Pros and the Macintosh desktops, etc. But yeah, I had pretty much good amount of devices with me. So I just thought, like, an iPad was a critical element which was missing.
Now firstly, let's compare the designs. Now the first thing you would notice is the difference in the corners. The iPad 8 Gen comes with the older rounded corners and the iPad Air comes with the squared edges. The squared edges, however, feel more premium and more grippy in the hand. When it comes to the weight distribution, both of them feel a bit similar. Surprisingly, the iPad 8 Gen feels a bit heavier, but there is not much of a difference. Both of them have the matte finish, but I would say that the 8 Gen with the older design does not attract a lot of fingerprints, and I would say except for on the logo, you hardly notice any fingerprints. But when it comes to the iPad Air, the first thing I noticed in the store itself was I was getting a lot of fingerprints even on the back of the tablet. So when it comes to the fingerprints, then the iPad Air is a huge fingerprint magnet, and that's not the case with the 8 Gen. Now coming to the front, the iPad 8 Gen has bigger bezels because it has that old design, and it also houses the fingerprint scanner on the front, just like it did on the older iPhones and even the iPhone SE today. On the iPad Air, however, the fingerprint scanner is on the edges, which makes way for more screen real estate. And also, it looks like a premium and futuristic design with the edge-to-edge display. However, the bezels are not as thin as the Pro models, but still they come very much close to the Pro models. So on the iPad 8 Gen, you might feel that the design is a bit older, and it is actually. One thing to notice is that on the 8 Gen, you still get the 3.5mm headphone jack. So if you're holding on to your older 3.5mm earphones, then I think that's more convenient for you, because still in 2021, you get that port. One thing to note about the bezels is that I would say while holding, it feels a bit more comfortable to hold the 8 Gen because it takes away the accidental touches that you can have, and holding on the bezels gives a more grippier feel and gives a more comfortable feel as well. On the iPad Air, however, you have to try a bit not to get accidental touches because of the edge-to-edge design. Coming to the display, both have the Retina display, but the one on the iPad Air seems to be more premium and seems to be more closer to the Pro models when it comes to displaying colors and also the fluency of the display. I think if you are going to use your display for more professional uses, then I think the iPad Air would definitely score better. Both, however, do not have any ProMotion display, so that's not a thing to compare. But I would say, in my experience, the iPad Air's display feels a bit more smoother. Even though it's just the same 60Hz, it feels more smoother, and I think it has to do with the touch refresh rate that the iPad Air has. It feels buttery smooth. And talking about the design, one thing to also look at is the speakers. On the 8 Gen, you get dual speakers on the bottom only. But when it comes to the iPad Air 4, you still get dual speakers. Even though you have 4 speaker grills, you still get dual speakers only. But the thing is that they are distributed on both the sides of the iPad Air. This gives a more surround sound and a 3D surround effect. So media consumption on the speakers is a great experience on the iPad Air because of the dual stereo sound that you get. On the iPad 8 Gen, however, you can notice that the sound is coming only from one direction. Now let's look at a sample of the sound differences that you can observe. Now let's talk about the performance. The iPad 8 Gen has the A12 Bionic chip and the iPad Air has the latest A14 Bionic chip. Now to test this out, I rendered a 4K video and also added the same layer on it So it is a two-layered video. So let's see how they compare when it comes to rendering a 4K video. So from this test, we can clearly see that the iPad Air is 5 to 6 seconds even faster than the iPad 8 Gen. So of course you see that performance difference in between the A12 and the A14. But when it comes to day-to-day performance, especially even while playing games also, the graphics are really good on the 8 Gen as well, and you might not notice that much of a difference in day-to-day tasks. Only in tasks like heavy video editing or photo editing, the iPad Air would prove a bit more faster, especially when it comes to the rendering times or handling heavy multitasking.
Performance, yes. So Apple being Apple, it is, I think, the hardware and the software are manufactured by a single company, so that optimizes the performance. The videos we watch, the games we play, the day-to-day applications we use are unmatched in terms of the performance factor.
Now coming to the battery, both of them feel a bit similar because you have to charge them every 2 days. The same thing is with the iPad Air 4 and the same thing is with the iPad 8 Gen.
The performance is uncompromised with respect to the battery life. So I just use it, I just charge it like once in every 2 days, and the battery will last for even more than that. Like at the end of the second day, it is still at 40%, 25%, but I prefer to charge it overnight. So this iPad particularly offers, say, unmatched performance with a pretty good battery life.
Now let's talk about the cameras. So both of them have the single camera, 12 megapixel. And on the front also they have the same 8 megapixel camera. But because of the software difference and also the hardware difference, the iPad Air 4 seems to be handling low light videos and images a little better, but not to a great extent. Let's see one sample here in front of us. The daylight images are the same. Usually most people use iPad cameras for video calling, so for that it's well and enough on both the iPads. Now one thing to note here is that the Apple Pencil first generation works with the iPad 8 Gen and the Apple Pencil second generation works with the iPad Air 4. So the Apple Pencil 2 is also more expensive, so do note that. But it is a bit of a faster experience when it comes to taking notes and also drawing. The latency is not as less as the Pro models, but still it does feel fast enough, and you can see that in my iPad Air 4 review as well. Now another thing to notice is that the iPad 8 Gen comes with the Lightning port, not the USB Type-C port. Both of them do have the charger in the box, however, the 20-watt USB Type-C charger, but the ports on the iPads are different. So basically on the iPad 8 Gen you can use the same cable that you use for your iPhone, but the iPad Air's USB Type-C is more futuristic. And also nowadays a lot of devices and a lot of chargers are coming with the Type-C, so most of the devices are moving towards Type-C now, and most likely we would see even iPhones in the future supporting Type-C ports. So Type-C is the future and the way to go. So unless you want that, then that's there on the iPad Air 4, and you also get the cable and the charger in the box. Now let's talk about the biometrics. As we spoke before in the design front, that the fingerprint scanner on the iPad 8 Gen is on the front, the circular fingerprint scanner, and on the iPad Air 4 it's embedded on the power button on the side. I would say, and this is my personal experience, that on the Air 4 it's a bit more convenient when you pick up your iPad and you can just tap your finger on the edge. When it comes to the 8 Gen, you have to use your thumb or your finger, and it takes a bit of a more effort, but nothing that you won't get used to. And on the iPhones it felt more convenient having that center circular fingerprint scanner, because they were small devices. But on the bigger iPad it can take some time getting used to it, but it's not a deal breaker. The fingerprint scanner on the 8 Gen, however, is still very fast. On the iPad Air 4 also I did not notice much of a time difference. Yes, it is fast, but even though I have registered my fingerprint many of the times, and I have also registered multiple fingers, and I've also registered multiple prints of the same finger as well, but still it sometimes fails to register. Talking about the storage, the 8 Gen comes with a 32 GB storage as well, whereas the iPad Air 4 comes with starting from the 64 GB. 32 GB for today's standards I would say is pretty less, but still if you're not storing many apps and if you're just using your iPad for media consumption, then 32 GB is just fine. But if you have large files, video files, then I think 32 GB will score a bit less and might wind up getting full soon. Because even if you play a lot of games, many games are on iOS are like 2 GB or 3 GB, and so that might take up a lot of storage soon. So I don't think 32 GB is enough But like I mentioned, if you're just using it for media consumption, then it's just fine. The 64GB on the iPad Air 4, however, is also less, I would say, because as I mentioned in my iPad Air 4 review, that whenever I edit my videos on my iPad Air 4, just after editing and rendering one YouTube video, I have to free up my storage, because large video files usually take up to about 11 to 12 GB. I'm talking about 4K 30 FPS files. So the A roll, the B roll clips, and mixed, and the final clip also after rendering, everything takes up about like 15 GB of storage. So I have to free up my storage after editing each video. So 64GB also for heavy usage is not that enough, but still you can manage that, and it's still better than 32GB on the iPad 8 Gen.
Now, after using it for like almost a month and a half, I feel that it was a good decision in the hindsight to buy this. I stay with my wife and my parents. My parents are senior citizens, so for them the Apple devices are really user friendly. Like, they can read the newspapers, they can watch YouTube videos, they can go on to some of the social media websites, etc. Even for me, if I want to watch the latest Netflix flick on my iPad, or if I want to watch something on YouTube, my wife wants to browse it. So essentially what I mean to say is that it's a common family device. It is not like this belongs to one, unlike a phone which is stuck to one single person. An iPad can be a device which can be shared among all the members of a family, irrespective of their age. A lot of people ask me that how do you compare it with an iPad Air or the higher models of an iPad. So again, it depends on what your use case is. For me, it was pretty simple. It's a family device for recording videos, sorry, not for watching videos, for playing games, for doing day-to-day stuff. That really helps. Probably somebody who is intensively into things like graphic designing, who needs high-end graphics on his device with a much more fancy and a much more powerful processor, this might not really suit them. But again, to each his own. For us, it suits really well, but for someone else with much higher needs, there are other options which are given by Apple.
Now, talking about the cost, the 8 Gen comes at about 30,000 and the iPad Air 4 comes at about 50,000, considering any offers or discounts that you can get. So the price difference is huge, but if you're looking for a more professional use, or even if for note-taking purposes, then the iPad Air is a better option to go. And it's also more futuristic, and the A14 will score more and more years going down the line, with more software support as well. But if you're just going to use your iPad for media consumption, then I think the 8 Gen is more than enough. So that's it guys. Hope you guys like this video. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.